I was feeling drowsy, but suddenly I had a feeling that somebody is watching you. So I woke up and then I was searching around. Sadhguru was not there in the dais. I looked around and I saw him right behind, under a tree, sitting there on a stone bench with the thing. And he was giving that intense gaze. It was that photo. Then I didn't know what to do. Sadhguru's photo, it has come to my hand, so I didn't say no. I just took it back. And I went and placed it on the table. Then things started happening. It was a blast. I was talking about the neck locks. It continued for nearly a month. My BP went up and down. I was not able to speak for a few days. And then I wrote to Isha. The reply was, he asked me to come and sit in Dhyanalinga on a Purnami day. So I came and sat down in Dhyanalinga. From then on, this neck... Because once this happened, the very perception of life changed for me. I was a kind of unconscious being. 20 years as a daughter to my parents, I lived without knowing anything. And then another 20 years with my husband in Grahastha life. Knew that I was an artist. I knew I had creative intensity with me. That's all I knew, but I was never conscious till then. But once this neck lock procedure happened, I knew what is consciousness. I just looked up at Sadhguru, hereafter you are everything for me and my family. That's all I said. When I said this, he was holding the application in his hand. He just removed the application and looked down at me. At that moment, I don't know what happened. I was sitting there and crying. My husband has never seen me cry for anything. But when he saw me crying like this, he asked what happened. I said, read this article, and gave it to him. I said, I want to go. Till then, I didn't have any idea of becoming a full-time volunteer. So when I said this, my husband was in a shock actually. Then he said, okay, you can go. When I'm saying you're ready, you can go. But later he told me he needed time for letting me go. He knows what it is to be with the Guru. Knowing and accepting. In the BSP, Sadhguru had said that we need a lot of hands. You won't come, and if your family members want to come, you won't allow them to come. Something like that he said. So this touched my husband. As soon as he came home after BSP, he said, your Guru is calling, please go.
That's all.
That's all. That was the turning point in my life. And that was when I saw Sadhguru being carried out of the Dhyanalinga. Just consecration got over, and that day I happened to be here. And the way he was when they carried him out, he was a totally different person. He had shrunk little. He became a small man and completely aged. So I realized that he had poured himself completely into the Dhyanalinga. For that to happen, he has given his life. That much I could really see. At that moment, I cried in my life for the first time.
Welcome back to Humans of Isha. Today we have with us Maheswari akka, who's been with Isha for over 25 years. So it's not Isha, it's not Sadhguru, it's not yoga. She came to Dhyanalinga even before the consecration was fully done. And from then on, her journey has a lot of miraculous happening. And she became a teacher. She came as a full-time volunteer here. Very inspiring events. She already spoke to us in Tamil for Humans of Isha Tamil channel. Very, very glad to invite her to do this interview for Humans of Isha English. Namaskaram akka. Thank you so much again for coming all the way to share your experience in English for our English audience and for our global audience. So I have really spent a lot of time with you. Even for the Tamil episodes we have covered. I know the entire thing actually. So let's start with this one. What made you come to Dhyanalinga, and what was your experience first time when Dhyanalinga was just getting consecrated? And we can start from there.
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram akka.
It's a privilege and thank you. In 99 February, I remember my relative said that there is a special linga that is being consecrated at the Isha Yoga Center, Coimbatore. So I was there at BH in Trichy. My husband was working there. So he said only on Mahashivratri day it is open to public. So let's go and see. So they had organized a bus. Isha meditators had organized a bus. Being a relative, I just came with my children. My husband was out of station, so my daughter and son came with me. And 99 Mahashivratri was the first time I'm coming into the space. And I entered Dhyanalinga. I had no idea how it will be, what it will be. So it was huge linga that was facing me, and the moment I entered, it was like blowing me away. Looking back now, I realized that Sadhguru had not locked the chakras. He had energized it completely. And it was like how you enter a AC room with air shutters in some showroom, no? Like that, the energy was hitting me. One thing is, I was drawn to it, but at the same time, my head was splitting with pain. I don't know whether it was some imbalance within me or whatever. I wanted to go out, but I wanted to stay there. Like that kind of experience I had. I came out immediately, went again and came out like that. And that was my first experience with Dhyanalinga. It was not yet consecrated. But the moment I entered there, I knew that this is not somebody normal being can do this. The person behind this is something special. That struck me first. And I came to the Shivratri ground. Mahashivratri was happening where now we have that welcome point at the backyard, that small space.
The
That's
car
where
parking
the
space.
Mahashivratri was happening, yes. So I was sitting there and Sadhguru was there. He was speaking and small events. There were hardly 1,500 to 2,000 people maximum, I think. The next thing I noticed was there was something called program toilet. Still it is there, I think. So I went there and I heard two people speaking among themselves that Sadhguru was there in two places. Both of them were arguing. Okay. They were saying, no, on this date, this time Sadhguru was here. The other person is saying, no, I have the photo. They were arguing. This is something I heard. The one person being in two places was something that was hearing for the first time in today's world. Okay. That was another thing that blowed me away. Then I was sitting there after having the Annadanam and doing the volunteering and all that. My children were sleeping. My daughter this side and son this side. They were sleeping in my lap.
How old are they? Were they?
My daughter was in 11th standard and my son was in 9th standard. So it was early in the morning. I think around 3 o'clock, 3:15 or something. And both of us playing. Even I was feeling a little drowsy. The programs now were not as lively as it's today. Okay, back then in 2099. So I was feeling drowsy, but suddenly I had a feeling that somebody is watching you. You know, you have that feeling when somebody looks at you. So I had somebody was watching me. So I woke up and then I was searching around. Sadhguru was not there in the dais. I looked around and I saw him right behind under a tree, sitting there on a stone bench with the thing. And he was giving that intense look.
Gaze.
His gaze, that intense gaze was there. And then I felt, is he really looking at me or something? Like I had a doubt. Again, after a few minutes, I saw he was still looking like that. And when I smiled, no reaction, nothing. And then after some time, he turned his head. Again, after 5-10 minutes, I saw still his gaze was like that. That was the turning point in my life. I had reverence for Sadhguru even before I saw him, because of the Dhyanalinga experience.
You didn't do any programs, nothing,
I
right?
didn't done any program. So after this experience, after having this experience with Sadhguru, maybe in a month or two, less than 2 months, I think, I was back at BHL and the same relative comes and tells me Sadhguru is there in Trichy. He had a satsang in Hotel Femina and then now he's addressing people at REC. Whatever you call as NIT today, it is, in those days it was called REC. And he nearly compelled me to go there. So me and my husband, we both went there to see Sadhguru once again. That was the second incident. I was sitting in that hall auditorium and maybe like 15-16 rows behind. All of a sudden, I had a different kind of experience, like how the light is all over, there is white light, okay? And between me and Sadhguru alone, an yellow beam of light was there. As if some neon light is pearl. That yellow kind of light was there. I thought something is wrong with my eyes. I was turning this side, that side, everywhere it's white. My husband knew something was happening to me and he was going on looking at me. So I thought something is abnormal with my eyes or abnormal with the situation, but it continued throughout the session. It was like that. And another thing I noticed is even before I opened my mouth and asked a question, whatever the questions were coming into my mind, he was answering me directly. Later, through somebody else who was also in this path, he told me that the color of the mental body is straw yellow or something. They said maybe that's how I felt. I don't know. I still don't know what happened actually. This was my second experience with Sadhguru. Okay, and that year LTC, we happened to go to Kedarnath. So we went to Kedarnath and stayed at Rishikesh. And we came back, just got back to Trichy on 24th, I think, of 23rd May, we got back through Rockfort or something, 23rd or 24th. So that was a day where Isha Yoga introduction program happened. I missed the program. And next day was the first class. So the same relative says, you have to get into the class today, otherwise you'll miss the program. It's okay if you miss the introduction, but you have to attend the class if you want it. So I was wondering what to do because we landed on that day. The house is a mess. After 15 days of traveling, we are coming back with unwashed clothes, and house is such a mess. But he was insisting, you have to come to the class, and something came over me. And without even thinking about what will happen to the dinner or whatever, no plans, nothing. I just went and enrolled myself for the first day of the Isha Yoga program. And came back and got scoldings from my husband. What is this? We came back today and you just went up to the program. So I couldn't even inform him because he was not available on the line over the phone. Those days we didn't have cell phone or all these. No? So came back and hurriedly made something for the dinner. And next day onwards, I went prepared. And 31st May was the initiation day.
So you even remember the date?
I remember 31st May was the initiation day, and it happened in town. Because BHL is a little far away from Trichy Center, and other classes used to happen in the main center in Trichy. So they pooled all the classes together, and the initiation was common initiation. And I went, when I came back, initiation was a really amazing experience. Like, first time I felt my body was very light and some different experience, which we cannot explain, like that it was. Then I came back that evening, I found a change in the house. Because my husband was involved with the Osho meditation center, and he was into his thing, and he was a seeker even before I started all this. So he knew that I'm getting initiated and coming back. He had prepared the whole house, batis, diyas, and he had prepared the dinner, that everything was there. The whole atmosphere changed. After this initiation, I stuck to the program. Practices. I was very particular. I never missed a day of practice, both Shunya and Shakti Chalana Kriya. I was very meticulous about my practice. After sending my children to school and sending my husband to office, the first thing I do is lock the door and do my sadhana. That's how it happened. Those days, BSP was not as common as today. So I had to wait for a few months, and it started in November. See, after the program was over, usually they bring the participants to visit Isha. Similarly, because it happened to be the culmination of consecration of Dhyanalinga in June, so we also came. As a participant, I came along with the others, Trichy volunteers and meditators. We came together. And that was when I saw Sadhguru being carried out of the Dhyanalinga.
Oh, the consecration was over.
Just consecration got over, and that day I happened to be here. And he couldn't even stand, he couldn't even walk. So they carried him over, and that was a very touching moment for me. Even today, the way he was, because I'd seen him like February, March, April, I'd seen him at RSC. The way he was a few months back, and the way he was when they carried him out, was totally different person. He had shrunk little. He became a small man and completely aged. In a matter of few months, he had aged. So I realized that he had poured himself completely into the Dhyanalinga. For that to happen, he has given his life. That much I could really see. So that moment, I cried in my life for the first time. I don't know what bond I had with Sadhguru. I've never cried for anything in my life, and it was so unlike me breaking down like that, seeing Sadhguru like that. After that, I was eagerly waiting for BSP. It is not as common as it's today. In every time, every month it's happening now. So I had to wait for a few months. So it was in November 2nd, the date was fixed, and just happened to be a week before Deepavali. So the conditions they made was you have to prepare the sweets and savories as you usually do.
Who made those conditions?
My children and my husband. They said,
oh, if you have to go for
BSP, get the permission for BSP, I committed that I'll make the sweets and savories as usual. And I came into BSP not knowing how it will be, But BSP was like a homecoming. I usually talk to birds. I usually talk to animals. It was like trees. Even the children used to call me crazy when I talked to tree and all that. But really, I could communicate with all these things. I had already shared, like there was a citrus tree in my backyard.
Yeah.
It had not blossomed or borne fruit for more than 25 years. And we moved into that quarters. And the people in the first floor, they were asking us to cut off the tree. They were telling even in daylight, we have to use the lights because it's covering the whole foliage is covering. So they were going on repeatedly asking us to chop the tree. So I started talking to the tree. I said, see, as long as we are here, we won't chop it off. But the moment we vacate this quarter, somebody else will come and do the job. So you better show who you are. So literally, I used to talk to the tree every day. Like after 3 or 4 months, 4 weeks, it started blossoming. I mean, small flowers started coming. And after 3-4 months, we could see big grapefruits coming out of it.
Wow.
So that time I thought it's just a coincidence. I didn't know that they respond. So after coming to BSV, I realized what it is actually. So looking back, so BSV, two things that I still carry within me is one thing was that song that happens, no? Radhe Radhe Shaman Pari, that Radhe was a small girl that time. She was a child sitting with Sadhguru in the dais, and Sadhguru did the BSP for us, and he was very much in pain still after the consecration after that November. He was still in pain, but still he was doing the program.
See, June end, the consecration happened,
And the BSP
and people were
November.
and people were carrying him. You know, he really shrunk a lot. But in November, which is like 3 months gap, he came back.
He did recover to some extent, but he was still not fully recovered. He was still in pain. That much I could see. So
He was back to conducting programs.
He was conducting programs. He was moving around doing the classes and the programs. So Radhe was sitting with him, and then when that song happened, no, Radhe, Radhe, we were at that time he patted Radhe and asked her to come down and dance. So holding her hand and the dance was a memorable thing because for me, I grew up in North. So when the people say Ram Ram, they won't say Krishna Krishna, they say Radhe
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe is synonymous to love. So when Sadhguru sent Radhe to me to dance with me, I thought, okay, it's a blessing. So that was one unforgettable moment. And the next thing was, towards the end of the program, we were asked to share. And I expressed my desire, saying, Sadhguru, I'm a happy person no matter what happens. It's not that I don't have my share of problems. I did have my share of problems, but I was generally very happy. But knowing this, after experiencing what BSV is, knowing Sadhguru and all that, I deeply wanted to move in this path as much as possible in this lifetime. I expressed this desire to him and he made it happen for me. So I expressed that in BSV. That is what I remember.
What did Sadhguru say? Did he acknowledge or?
He just nodded his head. That's all.
Okay.
So in BSV, that was my desire that I expressed to Sadhguru. And after that, November, December, back at Trichy, I attended the Hatha Yoga because I wanted to do the Samyama program. So that was mandatory to do the Hatha Yoga. We were living in BHL and the classes were happening in Main Guard Gate. That is nearly like an hour's journey by bus. Morning 6 to 8 and evening 6 to 8, 3 days a day, continuously, 2 sessions a day. So I have to get up 3:30, cook breakfast for my family. I catch the bus by 4:45 and go to Main Guard Gate, attend the session, come back, cook the lunch and make the dinner and again leave by 3 o'clock to be there by attend the night session and come back. So I somehow made it happen. Those 3 days were really stretching. I made it happen. And same December, my son happened to do the program. That was
you convinced him to do the program?
I didn't manage to convince him. It is like what happened was he's a restless kid. He'll hardly sit in one place to study or whatever. All the time he'll be running around cycling with other boys of his age. He'll hardly be home.
He's a teenager, right?
Teenager or whatever. He was not the studious kind. And he was jolly go lucky fellow. But quite restless. That is the complaint I used to receive from his teachers. He never sit in the class also. So what I asked him was, you attend the introductory program, and if you are convinced, then you can participate. I'm not going to force you to participate in the program. Just attend the introductory. I never attended the introduction. Okay. And I never got into the class aspects also, because when I attended the class, I was totally with the teacher, but I don't remember what they spoke. It was, whenever I come out of the class, I'll be blank. I don't know what that experience is. You are being with the person who's speaking to you, but after that class is over, I'm not able to recollect what he was talking. So I was not able to convince my son with anything. I just said, you attend the introductory program. So he attended. It was Swami Aloka's program. So he fell for it and he did the program.
He fell for it.
Introduction. That was the first time even I'm hearing the introduction. So after that, it was a turning point in my son's life. Yeah, this December Christmas holidays, he attended the program. February, his board practicals are starting. Okay. So he changed in these 2 months. He sat and studied and passed the 10th standard in first class.
That itself is a big achievement.
That's what the program did to him. Okay. So
I mean, you never hoped that he would get first class or something in his...
we never had that kind of expectation from our children. We never pushed them in any.
Correct. But you were saying, you mean that he was not... it was not easy for him to get that.
Yes. I know that he was quite sharp. If he sits and studies even for half an hour, he'll pass. It's not that he failed in the exams. He was quite capable, but never put in that effort.
Okay.
So we never also we never forced him into anything. That neither of us, neither my husband nor I, forced our children into anything. So December was my Hatha Yoga and his Isha Yoga program happened. And next February was my Samyama. So I came here for Samyama, but both the children are sitting for board exam. My son is sitting for 10th standard, my daughter is sitting for 12th standard exam. So I requested my parents who were retired and settled in Madurai, I asked them to be there. So they said, what is this? Children are going through board exam and you're going away for some program. I said, I'm not going to study. All they need is some tea or coffee in the night and somebody to take care of them. So you take care of your grandchildren, I'm going. I'm thankful to them. They came and I came here to attend the Samyama program. And that was again...
this whole thing, Akka, in this complete thing, the situation at home when kids are going through board school, they themselves would expect, the parents to be there. Another thing is the husband would want, because he also would have his routine and he would also want you to be here. So you must have faced quite a lot of resistance, or they were all okay with you going away and we only need tea, coffee, whatever.
See, the way I told you, both of us, we never interfered in our children's life. Neither did I interfere in my husband's work. So apart from his office work, he was doing a lot of social service. He was the secretary for mentally retarded school at PHL, and he was the secretary for music school. He was conducting a naturopathy hospital. So all his activities, he did it freely and I supported him. Similarly, my children, they never hardly stayed at home. Whatever they want, they come and ask me. Other than that, I never restrict them in going out with their children or doing whatever they needed or whatever. My son's Mridangam class, my daughter's dance class and all that, I encourage them to go. So we respected each other's space. So maybe because of that, finally I talked to them. I said, see, whatever you want to do in your life, you're doing. I never stopped them from going for picnics or pictures or whatever. I never stopped them. So whatever you want to do, I always supported you. Now this is what I want to do. So they were all very happy with allowing me to go, provided I take care of their requirements. So I had to cook and put everything in the fridge. And then now here my grandparents, the children are more happy with them than me.
Yeah.
So they were there and they said, it's fine, you go. So I came to Samyama program and I realized it is happening completely in Sadhguru's energy. After 4 days, 5 days, when we are left alone for some sessions, I don't want to go into the details here in public, but when we were left to do our own practice, at that time was the first time I had experienced something like the spine, the heat rising in the spine, and my head just jerked up back, got locked like this. I didn't know what was happening and tears were coming like this, and I stayed for half an hour or something. After it became okay. It just happened once. And then after Samyama, when Sadhguru left, after the closing, it was like something was pulled out, torn out of me, like that it was. I cried for a long time, sitting there and crying, not leaving the space. Ma Gambhiri came and she tried to pass away. Sadhguru is here only. Don't cry, he has not come. To that extent, I was crying. I mean, like, going away from Sadhguru was like that for me.
The last closing day?
Yeah, after the Samyama closed, I cried like that. As if something is being taken away from me, like that kind of feeling. Because then looking back, I realized the whole process of Samyama is happening. We were basking in his energy and sitting there and experiencing, going through that intense experiences or whatever wonderful things were happening to us. It's just sitting and basking in his energy. So that I realized in the first Samyama. And then after that Samyama, I came out and I came for my Guru Puja in May. So May to May, all the programs done. So Guru Puja also, when I was doing the program, the closing session, Sadhguru had come. And they were asking us to chant the Guru Puja after all the screening and selection and everything. Those who were selected, we were doing the Guru Puja. I was sitting there and I don't know why. When they say Karpura Gauram, even when I was doing the program, 13-day program as a teacher, when the initiator does that Guru Puja during the initiation time, and they say Karpura Gauram, I break down. No, I mean, still I cannot, that aarti cannot happen without me breaking down. It's like that. Guru Puja was a very powerful experience for me. And after chanting continuously, I didn't know Sadhguru had walked in and he was sitting there in the dais. And they asked us to open the eyes and I opened the eyes. He was sitting there in the dais and he spoke about Guru Puja and all that. Still the video is available. And that May, my husband also did the program. So after 1 year, my husband did the program. And after that, June, July, my daughter did. And meanwhile, I had come for BSP voluntary.
So, Akka, here you said your husband was already into Osho and he must have been a happy guy doing a lot of other activities, on his own.
Yeah.
So, was he curious about the changes you had and that kind of prompted him to do the program, or how did that happen? When you were going through so much of, transformation, certain things must have been visibly outside also.
Yes. It was very much there. So all the people in the house, they got intrigued by the way my intensity of the sadhana or my commitment towards the sadhana and the way I was going volunteering for Isha. And I've never gone outside the family. Like my children and my husband were everything to me. And all the spare time I was doing my Tanjore painting, oil painting, doll making, and tailoring, crochet, embroidery, everything. All the thing I used to sit and do in the house. Never used to leave the house, apart from going for shopping or whatever. So I was 100% pakka housewife. Okay. So seeing me go out like this on my own, leaving with not asking for company or anything, just on my own, I started going traveling alone. This first time it's happening for Isha. So they saw something is there. Maybe that touched him, or maybe
there was no fear element in them. Oh, maybe she'll go away or something like that.
Not that. Okay. So, but my husband was seeking. Even I think even in the early stages of marriage, he was the one who was seeking. He comes from a atheist family. So, but he was not happy with the answers they were giving. So he started searching. He has been to Ramakrishna Tapovan and he has been to Agoda, Yogananda's thing. Like that, he has been Mevali Shalai, all this, whatever was available, he used to go and search. And this is not okay, that is not okay. And finally, he settled for Osho.
Okay.
So like that, he started reading lots of Osho books and he was participating in their meditation, dynamic meditation and all that. So he knew what is happening with me. Yeah. More than I knew what was happening with me. So he had more of knowledge than
experience.
So he could see that I'm going through some transformation and he could realize that Sadhguru is a live guru, which he would also like to be with. So after doing the program.
So without you pushing him or asking him or begging him, whatever, you also go through, you will also explain nothing. Just with the way you are and you were. He just wanted to go through this. He felt he was missing something.
He was not missing much, but none of us see at home, I told you.
No. He felt like, okay, she is having some experience and I'm missing that experience.
I don't know what was going through inside. I wanted to be here, that's all.
Okay.
So after this, the next thing was happening, the big time that happened to me was volunteering at ESP. Somewhere, I don't know which month, it was in 2000. July or August, I don't. I came for PSP volunteering. And what I told you happened once in Samyama, that neck law. That started happening in some sessions, even volunteers participate. So in one session, there was a music going on and I was following the music and my body started twirling around. Sitting down, I was twirling around. Suddenly my head threw back and it got locked. Same thing, the same heat coming up the spine and my neck getting locked was there. And I was just unconsciously, I called Sadhguru. I was thinking in my head and then looked at him in the dais. He saw me. Then once he saw me, I thought he's doing something. So I closed my eyes and let it be. And I felt two tiny particles, all particles entering both my nostrils. I don't know whether really he sent something or it was only my experience. I felt it like that, as if something small particles entered my both the nostrils. And I remained like that for some time and then I bowed down like this, bent down and then it was released. After that incident, after that session, I was walking out, this Kaivalikute. It was attached to a particle. So I was walking out through the door. I felt again somebody's looking at me. I turned back. I saw Sadhguru pointing at me and talking to Ma Chandrahasa. Okay. So Ma Chandrahasa came running towards me and then she took me to triangular block. And she asked me to wait. The old office was there. She asked me to wait there. And she called Swami Bhujanga. And just below the office, there was a cellar those days. Okay. And they spoke something and Swami Bhujanga came out with big photo of Sadhguru, which was wrapped up. So he came and gave me this photo. I said, what is this? He said, 1,500 rupees, you take this photo and go. I said, I don't have the money. He said, doesn't matter, you take it and go. Next time when you come, you can pay. I'm seeing him for the first time. Okay. So then he was smiling and asking me to open up and see what photo it is. So I didn't understand why they are laughing and asking me to open the photo. It's wrapped. I thought I'll go home and wrap. And I was assuming that it will be the class photo, where Sadhguru looks down, we place it in all the yoga programs. So I thought maybe BHL, they're acknowledging as a separate center and they're giving me a photo for the class.
For the center.
For the center. I thought they're giving me the photo for the center. Then he said, open up. Then I opened and saw this was the photo I'm seeing for the first time, where Sadhguru is in a kind of half-closed eye. Like they say it is he was in Samadhi state or something. He'll be orange t-shirt, he would have crossed his legs and like this.
Yes, like that.
It was that photo. Then I didn't know what to do. Sadhguru's photo, it has come to my hands. So I didn't say no. I just took it back. And I went and placed it at my children's room on the table. Then things started happening. It was a blast. So many things happened that logically you cannot put a finger on. One thing was, I had a dog called Bunty. Okay. The dog selected me actually. We went to a friend's house. They said, we have like few puppies. You want one? So we went there. All the four of the puppies were chasing and this one came straight into my lap. So it bonded with me very well. And this one was like the day I put the photo and a couple of days, I think, it started barking. It doesn't do usually unless very rarely it barks seeing people. Usually it's very friendly dog. And it is barking looking up. We are living in the first floor. Okay. And it's looking out the veranda, the windows, everything is going around the house, barking. Nearly for an hour, it barked. Continuously, it was barking. And we were going on saying, what is it? We can't see anything. We couldn't see anything, actually. But it was barking. Looking back, I think maybe some being was coming there. Attracted with Sadhguru's photo, I don't know.
Yeah, the dogs could see.
Dogs could see something that we couldn't see. That was one of the weird experiences we had after putting the photo. The next thing was... during my Samyama closing, they were talking about the need for a hall for Samyama. The thing is, when we were doing the Samyama program, it was a place just where we have adjacent to behind the triangular block. They put a tarpaulin sheet and a thatch roof. And they told us that termites will come in any time, so you'll have to keep testing it and take care. But it happened that as soon as the Samyama program started, heavy downpour was there. There's no weather forecast. It was not a rainy season, actually, February. And all of a sudden, it started raining heavily. So we had to take all our beds from the Samyama program area and move into the Kaivalya. The space was so less there that we had to fold the beds and we were having enough space to sit down and do the meditation.
But not to sleep.
At night, we didn't have space to spread out the bed. So what they did was, gents were allowed to sleep in the Kaivalya and ladies, we were asked to move to Dhyanalinga.
Wow.
We slept inside the Dhyanalinga, head facing the Dhyanalinga and our legs towards the aura cells. And throughout the night, brahmacharis were, ensuring that the water doesn't come to our beds. Like that it was. So it was so bad. So the importance of having a hall for Samyama it was a share in that program towards the end.
Akka, but before that, I don't know how many people would have slept in the Dhyanalinga in that kind of a space.
Yes.
So did you feel anything, or how was that experience? Were you able to sleep at all, first of all?
I could sleep a week.
Yeah.
Sadhguru and Dhyanalinga are not different, okay? I sit with Sadhguru. So we're lying down there, that's all. Maybe that was the first, I don't know how many times it has happened. I had the blessing and I was fortunate enough to sleep. Spend the whole night there. So after that, I wanted to support the fundraising for the construction of the hall. So that was for the Spanda Hall construction. Town organizer had come to conduct a meeting with the BHL volunteers for the fundraising program. So I went there. I was a volunteer teacher at Ramakrishna Missionary School there in BHL. And in that school, I had organized the meeting there. So there were my friends and volunteers and the town organizers, all of us, we sat down and they started the prayer invocation. My neck lock happened. Okay. So they left me in the center and all of them sat around and they conducted the meeting. I got up towards the end of the meeting and came out. And then the organizer and his friend, they came to my house. Before entering the house, they said, "What are you having? The house is like, so much of vibrance is there. It's so powerful." The entrance itself, they're telling. They didn't know I have the Sadhguru's photo there. Okay. So, "What are you having in your house?" They said. They came in, they saw this photo and then said, "What? You got this photo? Who gave it to you?" They said, "It was given to me." Then they were looking at each other and they tell, "You know what it means? If this photo has been given to you, within a year, you will go to the ashram."
Really?
I didn't have any idea about that. And even when they said, I didn't believe it also. I just let it be. Looking back, I didn't understand the importance of the photo back then. It was such a powerful photo. I didn't know that. Okay. And what happened was after the meeting, in the meeting, I had committed. See, I wanted to collect funds from Spanda Hall fundraising and I want to initiate with 50,000 as donation. I wanted 5 lakhs at least from BHL. So I said, we put a big amount, then people will also come forward. So
5 lakhs and your individual contribution is 50,000.
I just committed to 50,000, even without asking my husband.
Which means you will go and collect 50,000.
No.
You yourself will put.
Our contribution as a family will be 50,000 and rest 4.5 lakhs I'll collect from BHL meditators. This was what I committed.
Okay.
So, like out of enthusiasm, I committed. Came home and I told my husband, "See, I have committed for 50,000. Then expecting him to scold, but he didn't say anything. He said, "If you have committed, I have to honor it. Let's see how to make it happen." So we were thinking how to do it because children were in the college and we had to pledge some gold or something. Somehow we wanted to contribute. So when we were thinking about this fundraising, I received a call from Srimati Asha Krishna. She was a patron for our BHL, many organizations like Arivalayam and all that. And she happens to be the wife of retired executive director of BHL. So of all the paintings that we created at BHL, many of us were doing it. She liked my paintings. And she offered that if you come to Hyderabad, I can give you some 10 students, 5 here and 5 in Secunderabad. So you can conduct a Tanjore painting workshop. So it just solved the problem of fundraising because each painting I teach for 5,000 rupees. So I boarded the train, took the materials and the people at Secunderabad were actually artists running the studio. So they were very happy with the work. In 10 days time, I could raise 50,000 and so the fundraising donation was just made like that. So Sadhguru's grace, it started like seeping in that once the photo was established in the house, things simply started happening.
Just with one photo?
Just one photo. I was talking about the neck locks. It continued for nearly a month. My BP went up and down. I was not able to speak for a few days. And then I wrote to Isha. And Sadhguru had asked me, the reply was, he asked me to come and sit in Dhyanalinga on a Purnami day. And that happened to be the first anniversary of the Dhyanalinga being offered to the world.
December.
It was Kartike Purnami.
Yeah, that's
what I
why December.
remember.
Yeah.
So there was Hari Prasad Chaurasia's concert. So I came and sat down in Dhyanalinga for an hour or so. I was sitting there. From then on, this neck lock stopped happening.
So you had this neck lock, which means your neck getting locked like this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what other issues you had? Was it like so troublesome?
The first week when it started, suddenly the heat will rise up from the spine, lower spine. So if I'm cooking, I'll have to switch off the gas and sit down immediately. If I try to resist, it won't stop. It will just come, and as if somebody's pulling your hair from the back, suddenly my back will become like this and my neck will go off like this. So it will be so hot. I had to remove all this Mangalya Sutras and everything. The chain I couldn't wear. And tears will be flowing. I'll be stuck like that for 10-15 minutes. That was the first week. Second week, the duration started increasing, but the number of times started coming down. Third week was continuing like this. Finally, the fourth week before I came to Dhyanalinga, I was sitting for nearly an hour like that. So it
couldn't move at all.
Twice a day, that's all. We won't be able to do anything. That the heat in the spine is unimaginable heat. So at that time, a lot of physiological changes happened. I couldn't speak for a couple of days. And then my nose was bleeding. My BP went very erratic. It was very high, like 210, 220 by 170, like that the BP was. And I had a friend, Dr. Kalyani, who was a surgeon at PHL hospital. She saw what was happening and she said, I won't diagnose you as a hypertension patient, but you're going through something. So let's wait for it and see. So when Sadhguru had asked me to come and sit in Dhyanalinga, I sat there, and after that, everything settled. So this was a very obvious transformative thing that visible for everybody who came and saw. Actually, one of the organizers at BHL called Joseph Regis, he came and saw the neck lock once. He said, what Osho has written in Kundalini Yoga is all that is true, is it? He was asking. I said, I have not read any books. I don't know what Osho has written. He said, all this Kundalini Yoga, he has talked about it, but I had everything in experience first. I didn't have any knowledge. So that was a very transformative process for me. Because once this happened, the very perception of life changed for me. It didn't happen overnight, but slowly I started overcoming. See, till then, I was a kind of unconscious being. 20 years as a daughter to my parents, I lived without knowing anything. And then another 20 years with my husband in Grihastha life. Maybe I knew that I was an artist. I knew I had creative intensity with me. I was intense and very well-planned person. That's all I knew, but I was never conscious till then. But once this neck lock procedure happened, I knew what is consciousness. So the very way I started looking at life, so when Sadhguru was talking about small things, like he says, being good is useless.
Yeah.
So it was like a slap to me. But to understand what he really says, that being good is not enough, it came after all these things, And then this understanding the thing in a broader perspective, there is no good and no bad. Everything has its own consequences. So like that, started looking at life very deeply after this. So this happened, and then one Forest Lover magazine landed up in my home, and there was an article called Glimpses of the Beyond. In that, after reading that article, again, dramatic changes happened within me. I just burst out crying, and the way Sadhguru is giving himself, throwing himself to make the Dhyanalinga happen and for people to realize what is the truth. He said, I have many plans, but I need hands. So I badly wanted to become his hands. So it happened one day when after reading the article, I was sitting there and crying. My husband has never seen me cry for anything. No matter how he shouts at me, or as husband and wife, we have quarreled, but I never cry for anything. But when he saw me crying like this, he asked what happened. He had come for lunch. So after eating, I said, read this article, and gave it to him. I said, I want to go.
You wanted to go to ashram?
Yes. Till then, I didn't have any idea of becoming a full-time volunteer. This article actually changed everything.
Glimpses of the Beyond.
Glimpses of the Beyond.
In Forest Flower.
In Forest Flower. It was a Maheshwari issue of 2000, I think.
Many things that you say, Akka, are very I don't know if that is the right word, mystical, but the photo, the article, and a day in Dhyanalinga on a Paurnami day doesn't seem to be, I don't know how to put it, a clear message, because it's all like random, things. But you very clearly say it happened only after this point of time, only after the photo came, only after, I read this article. So Sadhguru's presence and grace and guidance comes in so many variety of forms actually.
Yes.
So how can I ignore an article that just comes?
So when I said this, my husband was in a shock actually. Then he said, okay, you can go. When I'm saying you're ready, you can go. But later he told me he needed time for letting me go. So see, he was in Osho and he was into spiritualism. He knew Sadhguru. He knows what it is to be with a guru. Knowing and accepting are two different things.
He
was
said you
willing
go.
to let me go, but for that acceptance to come within him, he needed some time. So I said, fine, I waited. And meanwhile, I made my parents do the program. And then my husband did his BSP. In the BSP, Sadhguru had said that we need a lot of hands and you won't come. And if your family members want to come, you won't allow them to come. Something like that, he said. So this touched my husband. As soon as he came home after BSP, he said, your guru is calling, please go.
That's all.
That's all. That's how it happened. So the moment he said yes, I jumped up with ecstasy and immediately on the very same day, I wrote an application and sent it to the ashram because I didn't want him to change the mind afterward. So I sent the application in December, I think, 2000.
Were you surprised when your husband said, I will let you go? Or
See, I was telling you, he was a seeker earlier. He has been seeking for so many years, okay? And when he went in for Osho meditation and all those things, I said, if you truly want to go in this path, I can take care of the kids. You go ahead. I don't want to stop. I don't know from where these words came. Once upon a time, I had told him this, that if you want to pursue spiritual path, don't look back. I'll take care of the kids.
Oh, you told your husband?
Yes, when he was in the path of dynamic meditation, I told him. So he remembered that. Then he said, now you are eager to go to your guru. And I don't want to be an impediment, especially when the guru has called. So though something broke within him, he did accept it and allowed things to happen. I'm truly grateful for my husband. See, in his era, I mean, like 4-5 decades, now we are 45 years of married couple. In his era, men were not like that. They were like very controlling of their wives. My husband was, in his generation, he was a little open-minded and very supportive in everything I did for my higher education and for my spiritual pursuit. He never stopped.
And he said, your guru is calling. It is not his, he's still his guru.
He didn't become his guru then. So wait, I'll tell you, it is very interesting. So I wrote the application and sent it. And in May, the teacher training, the initial teacher training happens only in May.
2020. So 2000.
2001. I wrote in 2000. I sent the application December 2000. So I had to wait for a few months. And April end 2001, I was called for an interview. So I was just about preparing myself to attend the interview. My girl Anita, she went into, she had jaundice and she was admitted in the hospital. Anita, she was juvenile diabetic. My daughter is juvenile diabetic. And I've been so possessive about her health and all those things. When she was going for counseling for engineering, she was to choose between Anna University and REC Trichy. I didn't want her to stay in the hostel because of her diabetic condition. And I chose REC, compromising her subject so that she can go to the college from home as a day scholar. To that extent, I was like that with her. Now, suddenly I have wanted to leave everything and come. That's why people were puzzled. It was like nothing matters now. That kind of state I was. So just 2 days before the interview, my daughter's doctor, Dr. Kalyani, I told you, she was telling your daughter may have obstructive jaundice, so we may have to do a surgery. So my date with interview, what to do? I went in front of Sadhguru's photo. I told, I want to attend the interview. I want to become a teacher. I want to become your hands. But if she has to undergo a surgery, then I won't be able to make it this time. And I left it to him. So next day morning, they're saying, no, it's not obstructive jaundice. It's normal jaundice. So you can attend the interview. So She got discharged.
Okay.
And then I caught the late night bus from Trichy, 11 o'clock. I started from there, reached early morning here, warmed up from Simmedu, attended the interview. Those days it was like Raja and Chekaran, they were the teacher trainee coordinators. So we have to clear the interview with them first, and then we will be interviewed by Sadhguru. So I cleared the first preliminary round, and then I sat in front of Sadhguru's shrine, I sat down at his near his feet, and I was sitting there, and he asked very few questions. He asked, "You have children?" I said, "Yes, too." "What is your daughter doing?" I said, "She's doing engineering." He himself said, "REC." "Oh, REC." I said, "Yes." And then, "Who look after them?" He asked. And I told him, my husband said he'll take care of them, but Sadhguru, just deep down within me, I didn't have confidence in my husband, because once he gets to his office, or he was one of the handful of design specialists in the world, actually. So anytime he'll go for field direction services, he'll be called, and in his engineering field, he was a very specialist in his field. So I said, once he goes to work, he cannot take care of the kids. So I just looked up at Sadhguru, hereafter you are everything for me and my family. That's all I said. When I said this, he was holding the application in his hand. He just removed the application and looked down at me. At that moment, I don't know what happened. It was like I have entered into some another zone. Time went off. It was like I went into a trance or something. He looked into my eyes. I don't know how long it was. Few seconds, few minutes, I don't know. And when I came back, he just gave me a flower, blessed me, and sent me off. He said, there may be a lot of traveling. Is it okay with you? I said, I love traveling, Sadhguru. That's all. He didn't ask. He said, wonderful of your husband, but then from then onwards till today, I'm telling you, Sadhguru has taken care of my family. The entire family is basking on his grace only.
Just to let you know, Akka's husband, daughter, son are all full-time volunteers here, taking care of multiple responsibilities across the foundation activities.
Why you left out my daughter-in-law and son-in-law?
Okay. Oh, okay, daughter-in-law, son-in-law, everybody are part of the ashram.
So I said, you ask him, why are you asking all this to me? So,
but he was also a meditator, isn't it?
No, what I'm telling, that's what I'm telling. He used to tease me.
Oh, your guru only.
My family, anybody talks anything about Sadhguru,
Huh?
that won't work with me. So he was always used to tease me like that. Your guru, your guru. Then I told you, write to him. He wrote and he got a reply saying that I